Good morning and welcome to the American Association of Kidney Patients 48th Annual National Patient Meeting titled Transforming American Kidney Health, Patients Take the Lead. Now I would like to turn it over to my good friend and longtime colleague and fellow kidney patient, Paul Conway, AAKP's Chair of Policy and Global Affairs, to start our first session, Overlooked Impacts of Kidney Disease. It's both a healthcare and workforce issue. In addition to Paul's current role within AAKP, he is also a past AAKP President and co-chair of AAKP's Global Summit on Kidney Disease Innovations. As a 46-year kidney patient, Paul has experience with home dialysis and a current kidney transplant patient. He represents AAKP on a number of research initiatives, such as the National Institutes of Health Kidney Precision Medicine Project, and an AAKP liaison to numerous federal agencies, including his role as chair of FDA's Patient Engagement Advisory Council. However, it's his former roles as chief of staff for the U.S. Department of Labor and the chief of staff for the United States Civil Service that inform and fuel his passion for making certain the employment concerns and careers of kidney patients are not ignored when they are diagnosed and treated for kidney disease. AAKP believes that kidney treatment should support the aspirations of patients, including their ongoing ability to work part-time or full-time if possible. We also believe treatment should support a patient's need and desire to support a family, own a home, and retire securely. Without further introduction, I turn it over to you, Paul. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Ed. So many of us at AAKP have been looking forward to this first session of our national patient meeting. We've entitled it Overlooked Impacts of Kidney Disease. It's both a healthcare and workforce issue. We believe that for decades, the interest in patients in maintaining their livelihood has not been prioritized. When different treatments are recommended to patients, often the full spectrum of that person as a human being are not taken into full account, and maintaining a livelihood and a vocation, a career or a trade or a small business is usually not factored into those decisions, but it is by patients and families. And so to get to the heart of the matter, what we decided to do is invite some new friends and some old friends to talk about this very, very important issue. And one of our new friends and a very special guest, and we're lucky to have her, is Taryn Williams, who serves as the Assistant Secretary of Labor, and specifically, she's the Assistant Secretary of Labor for the Office of Disability Employment Policy. It's a very powerful office at the U.S. Department of Labor. It advises the Labor Secretary on all aspects of the workforce and disability policy using evidence-based research. It's a great office to work with. Tremendous staff, great insight, great creativity. And Taryn brings with us a great deal of expertise. She has an undergraduate degree from Harvard University. She has her master's from Brown. She served as a senior policy advisor on the Senate Health Committee. And under President Obama, for the White House Office of Public Liaison, she was the lead contact person for the president for all disability organizations in the United States and all disability communities. You can imagine the breadth of experience she has and the insights that she has working with people with chronic disease and many, many different conditions and many, many challenges. It's that great insight that we have with us today. Taryn, we're pleased to have you. It's an honor to have you with us. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, AAKP. I'm Taryn Williams, and I serve as Assistant Secretary of Labor for Disability Employment Policy at the U.S. Department of Labor. And in that role, I have the privilege of leading the Office of Disability Employment Policy, or ODEP for short. I want to thank AAKP for the opportunity to participate in your annual Patient Summit. For those of you who don't know, ODEP is the only non-regulatory federal agency that promotes policies and coordinates with employers in all levels of government to increase workplace success for people with disabilities. Our mission is to develop and influence policies and practices that increase both the number and quality of employment opportunities for people with disabilities. Disability for us and for me is not a deficit or a list of impairments, but rather a natural part of the human condition. It comes in many forms, both apparent and non-apparent, and how one experiences disability is very often an interaction between their disability and their environment. And for us as an agency, the environment we focus on is employment. This year, we celebrate a major milestone in our ongoing quest to advance access and equity for people with disabilities. The 50th anniversary of the passage of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. For background, the Rehabilitation Act, often just called the Rehab Act, is a key part of the social and legal infrastructure protecting the civil rights of people with disabilities in the United States. It was the first federal legislation to address the notions of access and equity for people with disabilities. And moreover, the Rehab Act was the first law to define disability in the context of major life functions, signifying an important shift away from the previously common medical model. Later, that same definition of person with a disability was incorporated into the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. In short, the Rehab Act laid the foundation for the ADA, which extended and expanded the workplace protections provided by the Rehab Act to all Americans with disabilities, not just those employed by certain employers. The ADA's definition of disability is intentionally broad to help ensure that people with chronic medical conditions, for instance, asthma or diabetes or chronic kidney disease, are protected. It's important to note that even if someone doesn't think of themselves as having a disability, they may meet the definition under the ADA and are entitled to critical protections under federal disability law. Today, both laws play an important role in advancing access and equity and building a better, stronger, more inclusive workforce, which is really the goal at the heart of our work at the U.S. Department of Labor. Each October, we build on the legacy of the Rehab Act and the ADA by celebrating National Disability Employment Awareness Month, or NDEAM. NDEAM is a great opportunity to recognize the skills that workers with disabilities contribute to America's workplaces, to our communities, and to our economy. It's also a time to further our resolve to expand access to employment for people with disabilities. It's about access and it's about equity. And that's why this year's NDEAM theme is advancing access and equity. Of course, this goal is at the heart of our work at the U.S. Department of Labor, not just in October, but every month of every year. The last few years have really reinforced the fact that advancing access and equity for people with disabilities or any historically underserved population means adapting to continual changes, many of which were unforeseen when the Rehab Act or even the ADA was passed. It's clear for the progress to occur, we must focus on the workforce as it is today. In our work, that means using data to understand disability employment for all Americans with disabilities. We use this focus in all of our work, but I really want to highlight our Retaining Employment and Talent After Injury and Illness Network, or the Retain Initiative. Retain is focused on testing strategies to help people stay or return to work after a work disability. We currently have projects in 5 states that are working to implement early intervention strategies to improve stay-at-work, return-to-work outcomes of individuals who experience a work disability while employed. We know that work is a critical social determinant of health and that access to a job can help support a person's recovery after illness or injury. But our medical system and our workplace needs are not always coordinated. They're not always aligned to support access to keeping one's job or to identifying a new career. That's why the work of Retain is so important, and we hope to learn from these efforts and lead to better services and supports around the country for people recovering from an injury and managing a chronic illness. Before I close, let me note that NDEAM is led by ODEP, but the real spirit lies at the grassroots level. Organizations of all sizes and in all industries are encouraged to take part, as are educators and youth service professionals, business associations, labor unions, and disability advocacy organizations. To learn how you can get involved, please visit dol.gov/NDEAM, and this website will offer concrete ideas for event planning and resources to help you get started. Thank you for your time, and I'm so looking forward to future collaboration with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Taryn. AAKP looks forward to working with ODEP and the U.S. Department of Labor in the months ahead to make certain that we can bring the best policies and best opportunities for kidney patients and to make certain that their aspirations to work part-time and full-time jobs are brought to the forefront in every policy discussion here in Washington. So our next two guests come from an organization that we've had a partnership with for nearly 5 years, CareerEco. And CareerEco is an expert at doing online and virtual job fairs, not only for the disability community, but also for the veterans community. And they've done a fantastic job, and they're great partners to work with. And AAKP has been able to provide tremendous opportunities for folks out there across the country to interact with employers in nearly every state in every region. It's a great boost for us in our role of making certain that patients have access to places to work as they're getting treated. So first we have Emma Briggette. She serves as the Senior Manager for Events for CareerEco, and she specializes in their virtual events. And we have Christina Dewater, who serves as Director of Operations for CareerEco, also on virtual events. And together they'll discuss their platform and the many, many opportunities that they bring to bear as we work with them as collaborators. Go right ahead, both of you.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Paul. We're excited to be presenting for the 48th Annual AAKP National Patient Meeting today. My coworker, Christina, and myself, Emma Briggette, will be discussing the CareerEco platform, our features and technology, our dedication to our customers, and our commitment to making the virtual space accessible and user-friendly for everyone. So to kick it off, I'll let Christina start with the introduction of herself, just so you can meet the two of us from the team. Though we have a larger team, the two of us will be presenting. So I'll let Christina start.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Dewater and I am the Director of Operations with CareerEco. I have been with CareerEco since 2020, and during my time with the company, I've worked with individuals from colleges and universities, associations, small and large companies, and other groups to implement virtual events. I oversee our customer support team and product development. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
And to follow Christina, I'm Emma Briggette. I'm the Senior Manager of Events. I also started at CareerEco in 2020. I initially started out within the customer support team and then worked my way to work directly with hosts of event and then directly handle the marketing for a majority of our events as well. So as Christina said, I'm also excited to be with you all today, and let's get started. Just to quickly go over the agenda for the day, we went ahead, we met the team, part of it, Christina and I. We're going to then go into CareerEco's dedication to our customers, features that we offer, and more specifically, platform features. Again, our commitment to accessibility, how our platform was designed with you all in mind. Christina will then go over our actual features and dive into our platform. We'll look over some of our clients that we work with and then go over some testimonials. And then to finish it off, we'll just go over our contact information so that you all can stay in touch with us. So as I just mentioned, CareerEco is dedicated to both our clients and our technology and finding out ways how to utilize both to make it so that organizations and candidates can interact in an effective way. So some ways that we're able to accomplish that is, one, we always make sure to respond to our organizations and clients regarding any matters surrounding our events. We'll oversee the registration process from start to finish. We also manage all of our vendor relationships. So as I mentioned, I work very closely with any of our hosts. So if we do host an event for you, you'd be working very closely with myself. Our customer support is excellent, so we provide rapid responses, day of event, and then anything leading up to the event day or post-event. And we also manage all pre and post communications, so we provide many tutorials and resources ahead of the event so that you feel comfortable with the platform, and then have additional reporting that's provided as well. I'll just start off mentioning our customer support. That being, we're highly responsive, as I mentioned, and it's really what separates us from the rest of the virtual event space. Our team is on top of it and will stay with you from beginning to finish of events. We also have flexible formatting, so we offer one-on-one pre-scheduled meetings, or you can interact in group settings if you rather that as well. We really try to fit our formats to whatever your recruitment needs are. Our advanced features range from resume books all the way from candidate reporting and internal messaging on our platform to also utilizing audio, video, and presentation formats. And then, of course, our affordable pricing. So you pay for events individually, or we do offer volume discount pricing as well. But whatever it is, we have no hidden fees. What you see for events and the pricing is what you'll pay for. I mentioned some of our platform features and also our flexible formatting, so I'll just cover some of them and what you'll have access to if you're hosting an event, participating as an organization or a candidate. So one being group sessions, which is where you can interact with multiple representatives from your team and other candidates that have chosen to enter into the event room. There's private meetings. So within these group rooms, you always have the option to individually interact with candidates or representatives one-on-one. There's the queue feature, which lets you work through essentially a candidate wait list, and again, allows you to interact with candidates one-on-one. There's the option for concurrent interactions that allows for multiple organizations and candidates to participate in a private setting or a group setting. There's presentation capabilities. So as I mentioned, audio, video, screen sharing, if you do want to provide a presentation. A scheduled meeting functionality. So you can go ahead and pre-schedule meetings with specific candidates ahead of the event rather than engaging in that group setting if that fits your recruitment needs better. And then there is that internal platform messaging where you can reach out to candidates ahead of the event. As I mentioned over the agenda, we do have a commitment to you. So our goal is to make our platform inclusive for all. Over COVID-19, we did hear a lot of feedback from our users that a lot of the virtual space wasn't accessible for all. So we really worked with organizations to focus on developing accessibility to all of our users. So that included making sure that our platform was screen reader friendly. We introduced video and audio, but we still always have the option for you all to utilize our chat feature. And then there is the option for closed captioning since we are a browser-based platform. Our platform then was designed with you in mind. So through this feedback from organizations and schools, candidates, and individuals with disabilities, we were able to grow and expand our platform that fits all of our users' needs. And with that, I'm going to let my coworker, Christina, take over, and she's going to walk you through a lot of our platform features.
Thanks, Emma. On this slide, you can see that each organization is able to completely customize their organization profile, and those organization profiles are available to all of the participating candidates before, during, and after the event so that they can quickly and easily learn more. Each individual organization also has the ability to set up group rooms as well as to hold pre-scheduled one-on-one meetings. The participating organizations have ongoing access to all of the registered candidates' information. They are able to filter down based on different criteria like years of work experience, areas of expertise for the candidate, location, or graduation date. From this particular section of the platform, the participating organizations are able to review the candidate's information, invite them to pre-scheduled one-on-one meetings, export resume books from the candidate, and also export this information into Excel for easy upload into their applicant tracking system. All of the access from within the platform to the reporting is available indefinitely. Organizations have ongoing access to all of the registered candidates' information, any of the resume books that they've downloaded, a chat room transcript of any text interactions occurring within the event, a detailed report of specific candidates who entered their event rooms within the event, and also comprehensive event and meeting schedule reports if they chose to participate in pre-scheduled one-on-one meetings. We also have our virtual messaging center that allows participating organizations and candidates to communicate from directly within the platform before, during, or after the event. Organizations and candidates can enter the event from anywhere. CareerEco is completely mobile responsive, so individuals can join in from desktop, tablet, or their mobile device to easily interact. From within our event, organization representatives can connect with candidates using text chat, audio, or video for an easy interaction. Organization representatives are able to utilize audio, video, or screen sharing from within the main event room to host presentations or panel discussions. There is also a queuing feature within the CareerEco platform that allows for a virtual waitlist for candidates to systematically join and be taken in when it's their turn in line. In addition, from within the main rooms, organization representatives are also able to engage in private one-on-one chats with the candidates using audio, video, or text chat. This also can occur within the pre-scheduled meeting rooms as well. I'll now turn things back over to my colleague, Emma.
Thank you, Christina, for taking us through the platform and talking us through our different features. Next, we're going to talk about our clients that utilize our platform. First being equal opportunity publications. So they work really closely with providing diversity in recruitment. Next, we work really closely with Recruit Military, who works with veterans seeking jobs. Bender Consulting Services, who work with people who have disabilities and helping them find employment. And then lastly, My Employment Options. So we work with a lot of these clients and host multiple events throughout the year. So this is a great resource for candidates or employers to utilize who want to participate in any of these events to help with their recruitment needs, or again, if you're a candidate seeking job opportunities. And then a lot of these clients have provided testimonials for us and our platform. So you can see again, Recruit Military at the top, Equal Opportunity Publications, and then also the U.S. Army Corps. So a lot of these organizations are just providing testimonials saying how our platform is user-friendly for a variety of users and why they love partnering with CareerEco. And with that, we will wrap up the presentation. So please stay in touch. If you're interested in hosting an event on our platform or you want to participate in any of our events, you can reach out to sales@careereco.com, listed on our events page too. If you go to careereco.com, link there, you will see upcoming events. So we look forward to hearing from you or having you participating in our upcoming events.
Thank you very much, Emma and Christina. We look forward to more collaborations with CareerEco. Our last speaker is a new friend. She's Emily Hashimoto. She serves as the Director of Audience Success for Idealist. And for those who may not be familiar with Idealist, Idealist is another online jobs platform. And they specialize in posting jobs and encouraging employers that work in the nonprofit sector and other things that are mission-focused and that create opportunities for people all over the United States. We're particularly interested in the opportunities they bring to bear for kidney patients for either part-time or full-time work. We're very excited to have Idealist as part of our team at this year's National Patient Meeting. So go right ahead, Emily. We look forward to listening to you.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here to be able to talk a little bit about social impact work. Again, thank you so much for having me, and I'll jump right in to talking about pathways to social impact work. My name is Emily Hashimoto. Again, I'm the Director of Audience Success at Idealist. And before I jump into Idealist, I'll just speak a little bit about my background. So I am a lifelong nonprofit public sector professional. I've worked for nonprofits, government agencies, political campaigns, mostly in the nonprofit sector, though. I have my master's in information science, and I've been an Idealist for a really long time. It always surprises me to see it, for over 11 years. And I've been remote since 2020. And just to note, I don't know, other things about me, I identify as a tired parent. A little bit about Idealist, but before I get into that, I think one thing I just wanted to kind of take a step back on is for those of you who maybe haven't worked at a nonprofit before, who haven't thought about it. And I wanted to just talk for just a second about some of the myths that kind of come along with nonprofit sector work. The pay, first of all, the pay isn't as bad as everyone says it is. There's lots of different kinds of nonprofit jobs. There's lots of ways to work in this sector. It's not all sort of direct services. You'd be surprised at the variety of what's available. Another thing to consider is that sometimes, not always of course, but sometimes nonprofit organizations can be a little bit more flexible than for-profit ones. You know, they know that they're competing around with pay. And so they know that some flexibility, some different benefits might be really attractive to candidates. So that's something to consider. And of course, the big one, which is a chance to have meaningful impact in your work. Diving in to a little bit about Idealist. So I wanted to share some of these stats about sort of the work that we do and a couple other things. So we were founded in 1995. Our mission, it's a big one, is to help build a world where all people can lead free and dignified lives by inviting people everywhere to imagine, connect, and act. But we are best known as a hub for jobs, internships, volunteer listings. And the organizations that post jobs with us generally are nonprofits, companies that have corporate social responsibility roles, government agencies, and consultants who work with nonprofits. In addition to our listings, we also maintain a large base of career advice articles. So the idea is to sort of support job seekers through the job search process and beyond. So sort of into professional development and how to grow and really love their career. And a little bit about how we support job seekers. So these are a few of the things that we do to support job seekers every day. So for one, we have the ability to send jobs to everyone based on criteria, whatever you might self-select. We also have the ability to save listings. Maybe you might see a job listing that's super interesting and you want to come back to it later. You can do that. You can save an organization, and it's this way to see when they might be hiring again. So maybe you see a job, it's not exactly a fit, but you want to know the next time that they're going to be posting an opportunity that'll come right to your email. Another thing that we offer now is the ability to match with jobs and recruiters. So based on the information that you put in your Idealist profile, it would give the ability to, again, to be sent an opportunity. You'd hear directly from recruiters if you're a fit for what they're looking for. And then finally, we have a salary tool, our Salary Explorer, Salary Calculator is another way to think about it. We have over 40,000 salary data points in the database, including hundreds of titles. And it's a great way to sort of get a good snapshot on what you might be paid based on a title, a location, and how many years of experience you have. And then finally, just diving a little bit into the kinds of listings we have. So we have about 4,000 jobs on Idealist right now. About half are remote or hybrid. And we've worked, of course, in the past few years, we've worked really hard to try to get a really clear filtering system in place so that job seekers have an easier time looking for these opportunities. So hybrid opportunities, you can specify city, state, country, or anywhere in the world. And again, to say about both remote and hybrid jobs, you have this opportunity to save the search and be emailed jobs as they're posted. Switching gears a little bit, I wanted to dive in a bit on the remote job search process. So we dug through our career advice archives, and we wanted to share a few tips and tricks that we think could be really helpful for candidates who are searching for remote opportunities. Requesting a remote interview. There are lots of organizations. How many exactly, I can't tell you, but I think many organizations are sort of going, quote unquote, back to normal. They're going back in person, and they may want you to come in for an interview. But depending on what your situation might be, that might not be feasible for you. So requesting a remote interview is really reasonable. And we have a couple thoughts on how you can do that. So whether you request via phone or email, I think these tips kind of these both hold in both circumstances. So you might want to share why you're requesting, you might not. I think it's really up to you and your comfort. You can see here a few other tips that we have, and I think just another, one thing to highlight is that you might want to detail your setup and comfort with tech. You might want to say, I've worked remotely for 10 years. I've done many remote interviews. This is what my setup is like, just to kind of just so that the hiring manager really understands what you're bringing to the table and how you can make sure that the experience of a remote interview will be really similar to being in person. Some of these tips might be obvious, but we wanted to highlight them anyway, just to kind of help you get ready for the big day. So setting up. So in advance, setting up for the remote interview, thinking about a location. So a place that is quiet, clean, minimal background, so the focus is on you. So up to you if you have your kids gallery behind you like I do. What you wear. So it might be really tempting to wear a suit jacket and a tie and sweatpants, but our recommendation would actually be to imagine that you are kind of going in person to an office. So to, as much as you can, as much as is comfortable, to wear what you would wear head to toe. And the idea of that, I think, is really to help get you in the spirit for that interview. And then again, a little more noise, I think. Again, it might be obvious, but if you share a space with someone, to just, of course, ask them to be quiet or ask them to keep their distance, shut the door, put a sign on the door, whatever might help you focus for that big conversation. Finally, so during the interview, again, might be obvious, might not be, but worth saying, I think. So, as soon as you kind of hop on the video connect, asking for a phone number. So just in case something goes wrong with the technology, that kind of stuff happens with some frequency. So if it does, you can just quickly call. This way you're not scrambling for, emailing somebody and waiting for them to get back to you. This way you just have their phone number just in case you need it. And a suggestion that we have is that really you keep your eyes on the interviewer. So depending what platform you're using, there might be an opportunity to see yourself on the screen. So we'd recommend, minimizing that or blocking it, whatever might be the most useful, just so you can really focus like you would if it was an in-person conversation. And finally, again, could be obvious, but just remembering to mute your mic when you're not speaking. So just to kind of cut down on atmospheric noise. And that's it from us. Again, I think I'm so happy to have the opportunity to speak to all of you. Thank you to AAKP for this opportunity. And if you have any questions for me, for anyone at Idealist, feel free to reach out to us at hello@idealist.org. Thank you again so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Emily. Again, we appreciate Idealist being with us. We appreciate CareerEco being with us. And we especially appreciate the U.S. Department of Labor and specifically Taryn Williams, the Assistant Secretary for the Office of Disability Employment Policy, for being with us during this session. Mark our word on this. AAKP is not going to let it rest. We think the whole person should be factored in to any kidney treatment. And that means the things that you depend on, your income, your stability, your career, your trade, your small business. Those are the types of things that should be factored before you're treated for kidney disease and as you're being treated for kidney disease. It will determine the types of treatment that you need. We're advocates for you and for making certain that you can do the things you need to do to take care of everything in your life beyond kidney disease.